As Greek city-states became increasingly democratic, a new profession emerged, the Sophists. Because political influence in a democracy depended on the ability to persuade, Sophists specialized in teaching rhetoric, the art of speaking effectively. Anyone who wanted to gain political power needed these skills, and Sophists became the educators who trained aspiring leaders. But Sophists taught more than rhetoric. They also instructed politicians in how to make practical decisions. Earlier Greeks believed political actions had to be moral, because the gods punished cities that behaved unjustly. Sophists challenged this assumption. They argued that humans could not know what the gods wanted because laws and customs were created by men, not by divine command. Right and wrong, therefore, were not absolute. They were matters of opinion, shaped by human society. Sophists claimed most political decisions were not moral, but pragmatic. A choice was good if it produced the desired outcome. If a leader persuaded the assembly to go to war and the city won, then the decision was wise. In their view, there was no single universal morality, only shifting views of right and wrong. These ideas troubled one Athenian deeply, Socrates. Socrates argued that the Sophists were wrong. He believed that true moral knowledge did exist, but it had to be discovered through logical reasoning, not by following traditional customs or public opinion. He agreed that many older Greek beliefs about morality, government, and religion were flawed, but he insisted that the answer was not, everything is opinion. Instead, people needed to examine their beliefs logically. Socrates spent decades questioning Athenians. His method was simple. 1. Ask someone what they believed. 2. Ask them to explain why they believed it. 3. Show that their reasoning was inconsistent, illogical, or incomplete. In doing so, he revealed that many cherished beliefs were unfounded. After 40 years of challenging people, he became so unpopular that in 399 BCE he was executed. Socrates demonstrated that reason and logic could expose false beliefs. His students would go further, using reason not only to disprove false ideas, but to discover true ones. One of Socrates' greatest students, Plato, created a comprehensive theory of reality to serve as a foundation for correct moral and political decisions. His philosophy is known as the theory of ideas, or theory of forms. Plato argued that everything in the physical world is what it is because of an underlying form, a perfect, logical blueprint that defines the true nature of a thing. For example, consider the concept of a chair. Actual chairs differ, some have arms, some do not, but we can still describe the essential characteristics of chairness. That essential idea is the form of the chair. Plato believed that forms exist in a separate, perfect realm, while our physical world is an imperfect copy. This applies not only to objects, but to moral concepts like justice and goodness. They too have perfect, unchanging forms. Because the physical world constantly changes, it cannot be fully trusted. Only the world of forms provides permanent truth. Thus, Plato concluded, the world of ideas forms is the real world. Our physical world is a changing, imperfect imitation. True knowledge comes from reasoning, not observation. In Plato's view, once people understood the forms logically, they would naturally act morally and build better governments and customs. After Plato's death, his student Aristotle developed a theory of his own. He accepted that things have forms, but he rejected Plato's idea that forms exist in a separate world. Aristotle was especially interested in biology and observed that living things change. A caterpillar becomes a butterfly, for example. He concluded that there is no unchanging blueprint separate from the physical world. Instead, an intelligent, active plan shapes everything in nature. Everything has a purpose, telos, and its form changes to fulfill that purpose. Aristotle believed change occurred in regular, natural stages, not only in animals but in governments and societies as well. To understand this, he collected vast amounts of data on biology, politics, literature, and many other subjects. Although Aristotle's ideas were not scientific in the modern experimental sense, he sought to understand why the world is the way it is. For more than 1,000 years, Aristotle remained the dominant authority in philosophy and science. In many ways, he is the father of modern academic disciplines, providing foundations for fields still studied in universities today.